There are big changes coming to airline travel in 2026. There have already been changes in airport security across the United States. Airlines are making travel changes. International airlines are changing rules for us, and I've got you covered. But we're also going to show you how to not be overwhelmed with the changes because they're going to happen no matter what. I'm going to give you just the headlines of these changes that are coming in the year 2026. Already in 2025, we know that in order to travel in an airplane, in airports, going through airport security in the United States, you must have the real ID. And one important change now that's going to go from December 2025 into 2026 is that passengers will be charged a fee of $45 if you do not have the real ID, but you want to use another form of ID. And I think that's because it's taking time of those officers being away from the normal airport security lines. Remember 2 travel tips when it comes to using real ID. If you do not have a real ID on your driver's license, you can use your passport, even though it's domestic travel. And then you only have to have the real ID if you are 18 years and older. I will list the website for TSA Real ID in case you want to find other forms of identification you can use and avoid the $45 fee. TSA has to verify your identity, which I appreciate safety-wise, with some modernized identity verification system. So that's taking officers away and spending technology and time. But another tip is that it will allow you to use that pre-approved form of identification for 10 days once they do verify you on that day that you've shown up and had to pay the $45. TSA is continuing the use of advanced imaging technology like tomography in the Vegas airport, a lot of these facial recognition technology, and that is fine. If you do not want to use it, you have every right as a free American citizen to say, I do not want to use the facial recognition. Just be prepared for extra time in that TSA line for them to find an officer and for them to actually do the facial whatever, look at your ID. I know it seems like, oh, it's gonna take 30 seconds, but they have set it up so it streamlines passengers moving through airport security faster. But you have every right to do that. Just add 15 more minutes to standing in line in the airport security line. And just like everything in America, some people are going to have a bad attitude. So they may roll your eyes like they did to my cousin-in-law in Arizona. It's okay. The TSA officers are not paying for your vacation. The really good news in 2025 is most every airport technology in airport security has been upgraded. They are now able to see and scan for security luggage, liquids, technology without us having to pull them out of our bags in airport security screening. That means that we as passengers can leave our liquids bag, even though this rule still applies, 1 quart-sized bag. Only containers that are 3.4 ounce size or smaller can be in that liquids bag, 1 per customer or 1 per passenger. Your liquids bag can most of the time just stay in your personal item bag, but you're always listening and watching as you're standing in line in airport security so that you are not caught off guard and overwhelmed. A recent update I have heard in the news, and I'm sure you have heard this too, is that TSA is allowing you to pay money to walk through the TSA checkpoint in order to walk with your family members or with friends to the gate and stay with them, bless you, until their flight boards and takes off. I have asked TSA on Ask TSA Facebook Messenger. You can do that. You can call them. Their number is on the contact tab of tsa.gov. But he seemed to not know what I was talking about. So whenever I hear that in the news, and this is a travel tip for you, always go directly to the TSA site. Sometimes we'll hear about an update on the news, but until it is in print, I do not trust it, and I do not go by it until I see that or get an email from the TSA. Did you know that they give you emails if you want to sign up on their site? Another change in 2025 that many Asian airlines and other international airlines as of late are banning portable chargers for your phone that are called power banks. They have a lithium ion battery size that can combust for no reason when you're charging, especially if it is a cheap brand of a power bank. We all know now, hopefully, if you've been watching Travel Tips by Laurie on YouTube, that power banks are not allowed in checked luggage in the belly of the airplane because they can combust. So now, one rule is several Asian airlines, like 16 of them, have said you cannot use them in the airplane. And they want you to have them in your personal item bag that goes under the airplane seat, not in your carry-on suitcase. And Southwest Airlines made the rule this year in 2025 that you cannot charge your phone in your carry-on suitcase. But what passenger charges their phone inside the carry-on suitcase? That is their way of having it the safest way possible in front of your eyes when you are charging. So we can all take that into account. It's not some rule for demand over our rights as Americans. It is just a way to stay the safest way possible inside an airplane, in the cabin of the airplane, where flight attendants have the right equipment. If your cell phone charger makes your phone catch on fire or something, they have the equipment and the tools to extinguish it. But in the belly of the airplane, it's kind of hard. One very common misconception that I have seen from viewers, first time, one and only viewers, they've said, no, airlines are not allowing chargers in the airplane anymore. But that is not completely true. Some of them are not allowing you to use them in the airplane. And then I know on United, when I just went to Zurich, and then on Southwest, that United the other day, they said, if you are charging your cell phone, keep it in your tray table or in your lap. So that's just a way to be safe. I highly recommend the Anchor brand. Mine monitors the heat of your cell phone. If it gets too hot, it will stop charging it automatically. My husband used it. I have my other Anchor one that has never even gotten warm, or my phone. I highly recommend that brand. If you even buy it on Amazon, another type, they will track you down if it has a recall. The best news in 2026 is that airlines are flying to new places. There are new places for us to explore. Most of you have been to Paris or to the Grand Canyon or New York City. Now it might be time to try a second city type area to visit. Never have I ever taken a flying vacation for granted. I know it is a treat every single time I take off. I had tears in my eyes leaving for Zurich a few weeks ago because I was like, this is such a treat. But somehow I expect airlines to be perfect and for their seats to be totally comfortable and the food to be amazing and free. But that is not the case on most airlines. So in 2026, we all have to decide, are we going to use an airplane to travel from one place to another? Like my husband says, you always have options. You can drive, you can sail in a boat, but if you are going to fly in an airplane, put up with it and learn what you can, and then take one step forward and do the next change, and just know and put these processes and new rules or rules that have been in effect for a long time into your head. One thing you know is that the TSA officers want to see fewer things. So that is a breeze. That helps me remember I need to keep everything in my bag unless they tell me to pull out something important. Usually it's technology larger than an airplane, larger than a cell phone. You're going to see comments about people saying the TSA are a bad word and all that kind of stuff, I can hide those people from my channel forever. Do not worry about that. Do not get in an argument. They're just doing clickbait, but we have to make that decision, and you have to make that decision. Those commenters, they are not going on vacation with you, and nobody wants to be around someone who's going to complain about what you had to go through to get to this vacation. So get your mind right and your perspective right. Like, wow, this is a treat. I'm going on vacation. I'm going to get through the mud and muck so that I can enjoy what my hard-earned labor has worked for. And do not compare yourself to others who may be going on vacation. I do this as a business. I am working and gathering tips for all of you and others who maybe have not flown in a long time. Mentally, I am educating you so that you will not feel overwhelmed on the day that you arrive to your airport. Here are some things that you can do to help yourself not feel overwhelmed with all these changes. Number one, pack a couple of snacks that you could eat if your flight is delayed, a bottle that you can fill with water, medication for a few extra days in case your flight is delayed. My tip is to always arrive to the airport 2 hours before they board your flight, which is about 30 minutes before takeoff time. If you have not flown in forever, there are 3 overall changes I want to share with you that have happened lately. Number one, shoes no longer have to come off in airport security. My mom, who is over 75, had to take off her tennis shoes that she has worn through airports at least for the last 2 years. They made her take them off. And then going to Zurich, I saw a guy in Washington Dulles have to take off his shoes, and he was like in his 30s. So it will still happen. She was just confused. I was so confused that why are they making her take off these like sneakers that don't have any metal in them? But we don't know. We just are going to get to our vacation and let it roll off like duck feathers. Like I already said, your liquids bag will most likely not have to be pulled out for extra screening and airport security, but we're always listening and watching to what is happening. We're being aware. So many airline passengers are not aware of other people and of signs that are right in front of them. So just take a breath. Remember, this is your vacation. You will never see these people again. But be aware, listen, and watch. You have your ID, you have your ticket. You're good to go. The number 3 tip is, if you have not flown in a long time, download the airline's app. Knowledge is power. You are going to find so much information in that app, and they do not email you over and over just because you have the app. One final tip is that travel insurance really is more important than ever before. I can recommend travelers and visitors. And do not forget medical insurance. Your insurance most likely will not cover you if you are in a foreign country. But then you also want insurance in case your flight is delayed or canceled. And one travel tip that my husband, who is an airline pilot, he reminded me of midsummer. He's like, airlines are flying these airplanes so much more in the summer. So if you have a flight coming up in the summer or late summer, know that a lot of them are going to start having something mechanical wrong with them and breaking, thus causing delays and maybe cancellations. If you are going on a cruise or a major trip, get there the day before. Do not give yourself a 2-hour window for domestic travel. For domestic travel, we now allow 4 hours, especially if you're going to a major airport, especially Newark, where they are known for delays. But we give ourselves 4 hours of a connection if we have to connect to go to another city through that airport. Those are just some tips. I hope it helps. I hope you do not feel like I was talking in a condescending way to you. I'm just giving you the headlines and helping you get on with your vacation and not let somebody else ruin it or some new rule ruin it. All right, have fun. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and thanks for your time.